beautiful welcome to Trendz on this amazing Saturday afternoon, where we bring you entertainment news and the leading headlines in showbiz out of South Africa, Africa and the diaspora. We are still celebrating Africa Month, no doubt. My name is Refiel Wemwilwa, at Refiel Wemwilwa on Twitter, and as a collective, we are at Trendz on SABC. We start off the show with a bittersweet reflection of a week of mourning for much-loved former generations actor Mandla Hlachwayo, a hero in our eyes, as women and the country say enough is enough with women being abused, victimized and killed. The former actor and radio DJ lost his life fighting to protect the life and rights of another. A memorial service was held in honor of Hlachwayo on Thursday at the Protea Hall in Protea Gardens, and he will be laid to rest at the Olifantsvlei Cemetery in Johannesburg.
In remembrance of the life of a fallen star, fatally shot and killed for trying to help others from being mugged. Final tributes poured in for the late star. Hlachwayo was applauded for his bravery.
We remember a hero who gave his own life in order to save that of a woman. Mandla tried to fight to save the woman from criminality, and that's when he met his death.
Mandla has taken action. So for that fact, he is not trash. If you stand up, if all men stand up, believe you me, there are a lot more good men than bad.
Hlachwayo played the role of Siphiwe Posa in the much-loved soapy Generations, and later went on to join community radio station Jozi FM. A tribute from fellow artists brought on emotional silence. Hlachwayo's funeral is underway in Soweto, where he will be laid to rest.
May his soul rest in peace. Now, the annual Hospice Wits Night with the Stars Music and Fashion Spectacular was held last week, where celebrities and social influencers and members of the business community gave of their time and talent for a worthy cause. Take a look.
This past weekend, South African celebrities took to Melrose Arch to perform and walk the catwalk, all for a good cause. The annual Hospice Wits Night with the Stars Celebrity and Music Fashion Spectacular was a phenomenal feast for the eyes, with Yvonne Chaka Chaka being confirmed the event patron for this year.
As a not-for-profit organization, it is our duty to try and ensure that we never have to turn patients away for financial reasons. And as a result, we engage ourselves in a lot of fundraising activities so that we can generate the funds that will make sure that we can take care of everyone who reaches out to us. So today's fashion show, the Hospice Wits Celebrity Night with the Stars Fashion Show, is exactly about that. It's a fashion show that helps us to bring together a lot of people within the community in Johannesburg and in South Africa at large. Sports personalities, TV personalities, music, all industries. And they come on board and they model on behalf of Hospice Wits so that we can raise funds through ticket sales.
Produced and directed by Jan Malan Umzingeli, the show began with vibrant dancing while audiences huddled in to escape the extreme cold. A-list celebrities and top fashion designers joined forces to design and model unique creations to raise funds for patients with life-threatening illnesses.
Well, I think it's very important that we try to contribute where we can, because there are people out there that are not as fortunate. Like, for instance, Hospice deal with people that are in their last periods of their lives, and they've absolutely got nobody to turn to. So we are thinking, well, you know, what would you do if you're in that position? You'll be very, you'll be in a terrible position. So this makes us happy, because this is what we are affording to do, what we are loving to do, what we are invited to be part of, which is wonderful. It's actually a great honor.
This is beyond me, so I couldn't say no. This is about representation of not just fashion, but about personalities, of being, of energy, of expression, and that's exactly what I am, and that's exactly how I live. So for me, any platform of expression and celebration is exactly where I want to be.
Showing their support for this worthy cause, stars of screen and TV, sporting heroes, musicians and other South African icons walked the ramp and performed live.
It was an honor. I got asked by the guys from Naked Ape and they asked if I'd model for them, and it just was really, really cool to walk in some interesting stuff that I wouldn't usually wear, but now I think I'm probably going to wear more of their stuff, so that was really cool, and then I closed the show, which was really fun as well.
It was truly a selfless night for all, giving of themselves, their talent and their time to a worthy cause and having so much fun in the process. In the backstage area, no one was a celebrity. Every person was just someone willing to do their bit for their fellow human being. G'day Trendz, I'm Louise Scoble. I'm right here in Melrose Arch, where we just had one of the events of the year, the Hospice Bits fundraiser, where anybody who is anybody has showed up. I do hope that you enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Louise Scoble, for putting together that package. Now, South African photographer Clint Stradom's exhibition, Hidden Shadows and Silent Voices of Prison Number 4, is currently on at Constitution Hill in Johannesburg. The exhibition photographs tells of the story of many who were imprisoned and incarcerated at the Old Fort's prison known as Number 4. Prisoners who were sentenced to serve time at the Old Fort prison became victims of police brutality. Take a look.
These photographs adorning the walls of prison number 4 and taken by Clint Stradom seek to recount the fascinating story of this haunted prison, which housed thousands of prisoners throughout the years it had been a prison. Stradom used his Hasselblad camera to capture images that would narrate the untold stories of the inmates who were incarcerated at number 4. Haisang Satehe, who is the curator for this exhibition, tells us more about it.
Hidden Shadows and Silent Voices of Prison Number 4 is a body of photographic work by photographer Clint Stradom, and the body of work really talks about the story of the prison, the old prison that used to be an apartheid prison back in, during the regime itself. And Number 4 is very notorious for the way the prisoners who were incarcerated here were treated, because this is a place where some of the worst punishments, worst brutal atrocities took place. And even today, ex-prisoners, when they talk about the history of the experiences here, you can still see the trembling fear in the tone of their voices. You can feel the fear from just their body language, and you can still see that this place just brings about a very fearful past.
It may sound like scenes from a horror movie, but by photographing the uninhabited spaces and empty isolation cells, Stradom captures the soul of the prison through the haunting presence that still hovers in the thick, misty air. Number 4 housed many male prisoners, including Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, Robert Sobukwe, and Oliver Tambo. The prison doors to the Old Fort and Number 4 were officially closed in 1983. The exhibition will run until the 27th of August at the Constitution Hill.
Now, in light of celebrations of Africa Month, Trendz was in attendance at the announcement of a movement that is inspired by the motherland and all her beauty and people. Now, Afropunk is finally making its way to Africa, South Africa to be exact. Now, the cultural movement from Brooklyn, America, announced late last week their lineup of the 2-day global festival that is set to take place in Johannesburg, South Africa. Now, the 30th and the 31st of December are going to be absolutely amazing in South Africa. The launch had all enthusiasts out in numbers at Constitution Hill to celebrate the arrival of this multicultural forum. And of course, we were there. Take a look.
Make some noise if you've been waiting for a long time for this to happen. Afropunk has had a profound impact on my life.
Afropunk has been defining culture in the music world, all in the quest of supporting multiculturalism and diversity for people of all races, genders, and preferences.
This is something that started in 2003 as basically a documentary about young black people, young black kids in New York that were in the punk rock scene, which in the 80s in America, black people and punk rock, there was like unicorns and Bigfoot put together. It just was something that people didn't know existed, but suddenly we were able to see these kids that were making different choices for themselves and who they wanted to be.
This movement has been running for over 14 years and is finally heading to Johannesburg, South Africa.
I mean, I've always gravitated towards the movement because I've just always felt like it was an identity that I always that represented me in a way, you know what I mean, both musically and ideologically. So it's exciting that it's come to South Africa. I feel like if anything, it should have been here first.
With Afropunk coming to Johannesburg, I'm beyond excited. I've been following the movement for many years, the style, the fashion, the music, and I think it's about time it came to Africa.
The Brooklyn-incepted movement now holds many festivals around the globe, namely London and Paris. SA is next in line. It encompasses not only incredible music, but artists, photographers, filmmakers, fashion designers, and celebrates the diversity of humankind.
I'd heard a few months ago that there was a possibility of Afropunk coming, and I was like, oh, I'd love to play, you know. And then I was looking at Afropunk London and Paris and Brooklyn. And I was looking at the lineups and I was like, yo, these are like people that I'm looking up to. Like TV on the radio have played, D'Angelo has played, Laurent Vula has played. And I was like, but I also want to play. So it just feels like this really beautiful validation.
The Afropunk and Joburg debut adventure will have a wide array of homegrown and global talent from the world of music, with the likes of Solange Knowles, Anderson .Paak, Thandiso Mazwai, Black Motion, Nakone Tori, to name a few. This cultural festival will take place on the 30th and 31st of December 2017.
I'm Nicola Cooper and you are watching Trendz.
My goodness, did you guys hear that Solange will be in the country at the end of this year? Johannesburg is going to have an amazing New Year's Eve party. And now I have in studio a gentleman who has lived one amazing life. He's here, he's going to perform for us, and I'm going to chat to him after the ad break. He's about to perform a song called Remedy from his upcoming album. It's coming out next week, Friday. I have Tresor and Clem on sax. Take it away, guys.
Pick me up to pull me through, baby. Give me more, I wanna lose control. But don't hold back, I wanna feel it all. When you start, you make up my mind. I forget all the things that fed me up. Give me faith, give me strength.
watching Trendz. Now, the guy that you just saw has worked with amazing international people, the likes of international artist Seal, who actually handpicked him to be his supporting act on his 3-city South African tour last year. He also won at the 2016 Summers Best Pop Album, and his list of achievements keep on growing. For a person who 10 years ago was nowhere near fame and fortune and being this amazing musician, I'm so very happy to have Tresor here in studio today. Welcome to Trendz.
Oh, thank you so much.
Tresor, for people, well, thank you. A little bit under the weather because of a flu, but otherwise I'm good. Glad you are here. And just in a few sentences, 10 years ago, where were you?
10 years ago. That was 10 years ago, 2007. Literally 10 years ago.
Before you came to South Africa.
Before
you know, you're from the DRC.
I'm from a very small town called Goma, Eastern DRC. Mainly known for like atrocities and just one of the worst, pretty much, place to grow up.
Yeah.
You know, and I literally was in my small town called Goma, dreaming and dreaming of this, you know, massive.
Surrounded by all the political and social strife that you know, you were accustomed to. I mean, by that time you are in your teens. What is it that, you know, kept you thinking and dreaming that one day I will be out of this place? I know I have a talent. I know I can be something in this world.
I lost my parents when I was very young, you know, and I've always told myself that I really want to achieve something. I want to be something bigger than my city and just bring hope to all the kids that live there so they can see that something great can come out of the town.
Right.
And for me, this dream is not just my own dream, it's a dream for like the orphans that lost their parents very young.
Yeah.
And kids from war-torn countries.
Sure.
It's really beautiful to see everything unfold, though we're still getting started.
Yeah.
And pretty much I think the dream kept me alive, and up until today it's the same thing that's still really motivating and really keeping me up on fire.
And you hustled, got to South Africa.
That's right.
People don't know, this guy was once a car guard.
That's correct.
I mean, oh my gosh, it's actually crazy. And you did that. Were you like humming tunes as you're busy there helping guys park their cars?
You know, I think with music, man, like I've been doing music since I was young, you know, and you know, whether on the dusty streets since about like 8 years old, you know, during the madness of Rwandan genocide. I mean, that's how I started music. You know, they just dropped me at the church, you know, a local church, and we just started beating on drums and humming the music. And when I go to South Africa, I mean, years later, you know, like in my, you know, I turned 21 here, and I was just literally wanting to do this music thing, and it was taking a while. So the only thing pretty much I could do at that time was being a car guard and security guard, because obviously my big station and stuff.
Amazing. But the beauty in everything that you're saying, we are celebrating Africa Month.
Yeah.
African people, through everything, through unhappiness, through strife, through everything that has happened to the continent and the African people. We are a joyous people. We sing through everything. We celebrate and find deep within us to keep ourselves going. Here we are, 2017, Beautiful Madness.
That's right.
Tell us about it.
Beautiful Madness.
Yeah.
So the whole story about the Beautiful Madness is pretty much a continuation of 7, my first album. I think, as I said, I come from a very small town, and I had this massive dream, and the album 7 pretty much went beyond my expectations. I mean, we started charting in Europe, having 2 number ones in Italy, performing in front of 60,000 people that you never, you know, like literally in less than like 6 weeks, you know, traveling, you know, throughout Europe. And I think for me, that was really too fast, you know, and it was too mad. I started losing my mind and, you know, traveling and exhaustion. And I was like, this is really beautiful. It's what I really was praying for as a kid, you know.
But it's
and
a beautiful
it's madness.
madness.
It's beautiful. It's madness. And I went back to the studio, whether I was in the UK, whether I was in Congo, whether I was wherever I was in Cape Town, Germany, just started writing new songs.
Fantastic.
And Clem played with me earlier, actually. Played synth and sax and brass and a lot of the songs on the record. And that's how the whole album came together. Pretty much the stage, a celebration of pretty much my wildest dream coming true and celebrating everything that comes with it.
Amazing. It drops next week, Friday, the 26th
That's
of May.
Right.
All platforms, all music stores, you are there. And where can people get a hold of, you know, where you'll be performing soon? Where are you next?
You can pretty much join my social media. It's Tresor, Tresor. Official one word on Instagram and Facebook, as well as Twitter. We'll be announcing a whole number of festivals and events we'll be doing in the next month or two, and it's really exciting because we're going on a tour with some really major brands and really taking the music to people. I'm really excited about the band.
You should be.
And the band is called the Legends 80, and we're pretty much taking back the times of Fela Kuti, Bra Hugh, and just bringing live music back to life like never seen before.
Oh, absolutely amazing. Tresor, thank you so very much for coming through to the studio.
Thank you so
look
much.
absolutely amazing. And
Thank
here you go, guys. Here is an African child who knew that it was always possible. Now, moving on to fashion, Kisua is a unique African fashion brand. It draws on the sights, sounds, tastes, and brands, blending traditional techniques and materials with a contemporary design aesthetic and ethical production methods to create new styles for the modern woman. Now, last week, Trendz was invited to the Kisua Spring-Summer 2017 collection, which was held at their new Menlyn Mall store, and this is what went down.
Established in South Africa in 2013, Kisua has grown to become an international e-commerce platform, creating opportunities for African designers and collaborating with like-minded global partners. Created and founded by Sam Mensah, the fashion brand has a rich history behind it.
It started as a result of my travels through Africa. I used to be in finance as a business person, and I travel all over the continent. And in my travels, I would buy presents for my friends. And often I'd buy them, you know, a shirt from Mali, a dress from Nigeria, a t-shirt from Ghana. And then people started approaching me and say, hey, I saw that shirt that Njabulo was wearing. He said you bought it for him from Senegal. So please, let me give you 500 Rand. Next time you're in Senegal, buy me that shirt or buy me something similar. And that's where the idea came from. People love African fashion, not just in South Africa, but all over the world. But they find it very difficult to actually access the product. And so we set up Kisua as a way of providing modern, contemporary African fashion to our friends and customers.
This season sees an international partnership between Kisua and an international designer, Yorks. The collection is a cross-continental collaboration reflecting the heritage of both brands, bringing together the vibrant African prints for which Kisua is well known, with classic Italian silhouettes that speak Yorks' roots.
This collection was quite special because it was a collaboration between Kisua and a very well-known Italian retailer called Yorks. And so we wanted to fuse. The collection is called the Fusione collection, which, you know, it means fusion. It's fusion of African with Italian, and we basically merged African prints. Some of them are inspired by Ndebele, some of them are inspired by mud cloth from Mali with classic Italian silhouettes.
Inspired by the hustle and bustle of downtown Johannesburg, where a kaleidoscope of colors, cultures, and street life collide. This 14-piece collection has been designed with the cosmopolitan woman in mind.
We want to achieve two things when we make a Kisua dress. We want you to be beautiful, and we want you to be comfortable. And that's really the philosophy behind everything that we do. Beauty and comfort. And that's important because typically when people think about African fashion, they think about a special occasion. I'm going to a wedding or I'm doing something special, and so today I need to look African. We are saying no, it doesn't have to be like that. African fashion can be made in such a way that you feel good in it, and you're comfortable, and you're not self-conscious because it looks like a costume. And you can wear it every day if you want, as you go about your day-to-day life. After
the sketching is done, the sourcing of the fabric becomes imperative.
Fashion is all about the ingredients. It's much like cooking. You know, what you get out of a meal all starts with the right ingredients. And the fabric is the most important ingredient in any garment. We literally go to the ends of the world to bring you the best fabric. You know, this is cotton that is hand-picked on African cotton fields, rolled in African cotton mills, printed in African cotton fabrics, and made into African print garments designed here on the continent by our very own African designers.
The 14-piece collection was designed and manufactured in Africa. The garments were made in South Africa with cotton fabric sourced from Ghana and the Ivory Coast. One can safely say that this collection does have an African footprint.
I'm a big lover of prints, so I think this has definitely fallen into the type of thing that I love wearing. I love the shapes that they have this season. I think it's a collection that I look at and I think if I can wear all the pieces in the collection, I'm extremely happy with that. I love the fact that there's really bright colors, some neutral colors, but I love the play that they have with the different prints upon prints. And I think that is something that they're very strong with doing.
I've had quite a good relationship with Tresor. I've been with the brand for quite a few years now in terms of consultation and what have you. And what Tresor is doing is magic in terms of empowerment. It's bringing African fashion to the rest of the world, which we desperately need in South Africa. And the latest collection is so fantastic because everybody has this idea of African prints or African fabrics as being, for want of a better word, curio shop versions of what Africa is in terms of what the rest of the world perceive us to be. And these fabrics that they're using in this latest collection are on point, they are divine, they are well designed, and they are 100% African, internationally accepted as what African is, but without being curio shop.
Rights and recourse tackles constitutional issues.
When South Africa became a constitutional democracy, we had a fairly sound legal system in place requiring the Constitution to guide the direction in which it must go and the way in which it must be refashioned.
The Justice Ministry, the custodian of human rights.
We actually have a plan to come up with a comprehensive review of our human rights instruments.
Advocates dealing with evidence.
Sometimes you have to use a crook to catch a crook. So we expected that the credibility would really be taken to task. You try and consult your witnesses and prepare them as best as you can.
Hashtag Rights with Dubila Matez on legal issues every Sunday at 2 o'clock Central African Time.
Of those I walk amongst, those that I came with. Each of us a puzzle piece of this community of love and liberty. Building, growing, we're expanding the human race, embracing. We start to believe again. We start to believe again. I start to believe again. I start to believe again. I start to listen. I start to listen, my ears sing me songs of bleeding.
Absolutely fantastic. That's a brand new one there. That's Ntiki Mazwai and the legendary. I have legends here in studio and it's not even over just yet. Now, a musical take on contemporary presence in an ancient place. The Cradle of Humankind World Heritage Site is hosting indigenous sounds and rhythms through modern parables next Saturday for an exceptional festival of melodies called The Roots of Humankind. Now, the event will have a modern traditional mix of music that will will be performed by music legends such as Philip Dabane, Madala Gunene, the Urban Village, Skorokoro Ensemble, and Tabia, and the legend who was in that video, that's Bra Pops Mohamed. As he said, I can call him. I said Granddad Pops, but he says Bra Pops Mohamed. Now, the concert will be presented amongst the Nirox Winter 2017 sculpture exhibition, containing the work of over 50 alumni artists from 6 South African universities, titled Open Laboratory. Now, I'm here with the unofficial Minister of Music, the legendary Bra Pops Mohamed.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to studio.
Thank
How
you
are
so
you?
Much. I've been good. I've been busy.
Clearly, you've been busy. We've just seen that with Ntiki Mazwai. Tell us how that came together.
Well, Ntiki Mazwai is going through things sometimes.
She's
you know.
been.
Yeah, she's not a survivor. She's a warrior.
Yeah.
You know, so that's more about her confidence of looking into the future again, how she starts believing in herself, believing in people, believing in life itself.
Okay.
As large as life. And we got together and we'd done a collaboration track before. And I said, why don't we put this track together? And it is available on a CD called I Start to Sing.
Right.
But we collaborated on this track. I wrote the music and she just came, she listened to the music, she says, Pops, play it to me over again, and I would play it, and she's sitting in the passage, and next thing she comes, she says, right, let's go.
Wow.
And I just put on the microphone, and there we went. And then the next week she came to visit me, and I said, let's go to the park. She says, okay, and I took my camera, and I filmed the video.
Is this you as well? Oh my gosh.
Well, other parts of me playing someone else's film.
Sure.
And
but you
great,
also contributed.
Great editor, Tony Villard, edited the thing for me.
Oh my goodness.
But most of the stuff I filmed.
A man of many talents.
Oh, well,
multi-instrumentalist.
And that's how it came about, you know, the new Ntiki Mazwai.
The new Ntiki Mazwai,
and
but
it's a single for our debut album. We're working towards an album.
Okay, and so obviously if you're still working towards it, this is the first single. It's not a case of, okay, by September we'll have something.
It's ready to be downloaded as of next week already.
Oh my goodness, what a treat. For years we've been thinking, where are you? You're so quiet, but clearly you've been
quite busy. I've been working on a movie as well with Zola Maseko, The Whale Caller.
Fantastic.
And I wrote the soundtrack for the movie, which won Best African Film.
Yes.
And also then now I get to mix out the music, the soundtrack for that. I got the call from Zola. Yeah. We need to release an album soundtrack.
Yes.
To go together with the film. So now I'm busy again doing that, mixing out, the tracks for the soundtrack.
For the soundtrack.
So yeah.
My goodness. I love, when I look at your music since, way before my time. Yeah. Music that's still relevant today. And you're very much a social commentator and you talk about things and your music has a way of connecting people to current situations that are happening, but you are almost a vehicle that says, this is where we are now, but this is what I want to look forward to.
Exactly.
I want you to channel yourselves to look forward to this future that I can see.
Exactly.
You know?
Just earlier on I had a conversation with the soil. And I looked at them and I laughed. I said, we got to do something together.
You have to.
So we are going to. That's a definite thing. That's amazing. You see, so I keep taking on these challenges and like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Yeah. But I have to execute.
And what is it for you? So sorry to cut you there, but what is it for you about younger musicians when you look at your era and some of the musicians that are still here, some are not right now, who came up with you. The younger ones, of course, people like the Soil, are amazing and they have that connection very easily to old and new. But who else could you say are on the right path to, doing music that will be remembered, that, can go into a time capsule and 200 years from now, we could open it and say, this was South Africa in the year 2017, 2018?
Toya DeLazy is a name that keeps coming up.
Have you worked with her?
I haven't worked with her, but we performed on one stage for Africa Day a few years ago.
And you saw something in her.
I saw something there and I said, my God, this is something else. I like to listen to different things.
Yeah.
Some people seem to find her music difficult, but it's so easy for me to listen.
Okay.
And I feel there's so much potential that she could go
That's
far.
untapped.
It's untapped.
And there we go,
then
because
also
you are a
classical
musician.
example again of someone for the future. I think Thandisa Mazwai is an icon.
Of
I mean, I
course.
really love that woman, her music and everything.
Okay.
She's very strong. And then, of course, we've got young and up-and-coming artists who I'd love to work with. There's a young lady, people don't know her, Dudu Majola.
Okay.
She's also something of the future, but also the youngsters, we need to nurture them, work with them.
Yeah.
And
Someone
that's why-
people absolutely love right now at only 22 years of age is Amanda Black. Yeah,
Mm.
powerful,
Oh,
powerful
man.
vocal house.
I'm dying to meet Amanda Black.
Really?
I mean, I watch her
Okay,
videos
okay.
every time and it makes my
She
soul
must be
smile.
so chuffed because she's so oblivious to the
Yes.
fact that she is actually really, really
Yes,
amazing, you
yes.
know?
And I-
But fantastic. There's so many people that we can talk about, Bro Pops. I'm so sad that you're here. You're here with your mbira. You're going to play for us a little bit later.
Yes.
But this exhibition, it's happening at the Roots of Humankind.
Mhm.
You are playing there. Amazing lineup. What can people look forward to?
Oh man, I'm looking forward to be working with all those guys. Koro Koro, Madala Kunene, Bra Philip Tabani, who
Yeah.
is my mentor.
Really?
You know, I've been listening to Bra Philip since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I feature on his new album.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we're not together in the studio at the time. I just
Okay.
added my 50 cents to one of the tracks.
Yeah.
But I'd definitely like to collaborate with him. So we all getting together from next Wednesday onward at the Cradle of Humankind at Nyrox.
The place of
And
origins.
all the musicians will be getting together and we'll be jamming and feeling each other out for the next 3 days. So we don't know what we're going to be coming out with, but I know that it's going to be magical. And Madala Kunena is going to be there. I've worked with him many times. I've worked with him abroad. And we had a chat yesterday and he says to me, Balfour, me
It's
and
gonna
you. I
be-
said,
yeah,
yes, me
it's
and you.
happening, it's happening. Oh,
so,
thank you
I mean,
so
the
very
people
much,
could look
Pops.
forward to an amazing afternoon at
Yeah.
Nyrox, the setting, the sculptures.
Yes.
And I know that the music is going to be amazing, especially that we don't know what we'll be doing, but all we know is that it's going to be magic.
Okay,
It's gonna
thank
be
you.
magical.
Thank you so very much for Pops. Amazing, as you are well known for, celebrating African musicianship
Thank
at
you.
its highest caliber.
Thanks.
Thank you for your
Thanks.
time.
Thanks.
All right. Now, the month of April, it's a season in radio that ushers in new voices and personalities and a few new directions in efforts to increase listenership and mass appeal. Now, right here at the SABC, we also had our fair share of unexpected and controversial moves with some reshuffling and floor crossing. Buleng Mulebadzi went on a radio meets TV mission to expose one particular breakfast show. Take a look.
They are the freshest breakfast team on radio right now. They're not only the most talked about, but they're also the most listened to breakfast show on radio. Today, I'm standing right outside Metro FM to spend some time with the fresh breakfast team. They took social media by storm when they were announced as the foursome to take over the primetime breakfast slot on Metro FM. Since then, DJ Fresh, Somizi, Mpama Boy and Angie Kumalo have gotten their listeners' dial locked on their show every morning.
We deliberately selected the team the way Eileen because I felt that Somizi had been more radio, but I didn't think he was being utilized properly.
I've got the best position in the radio industry right now because I am partnered with the radio god, you know, and it's one, and it might sound cliche, but it's one of those things where I don't even think I deserve to be paid for it.
Sports anchor Mpama Boy was a bit skeptic about the team dynamics at first.
There was some preconceived ideas because also you have DJ Fresh who comes from 5FM, which is still considered today to be a white radio station. So in the beginning there was that whole, is DJ Fresh black enough to be part of Metro FM first and foremost? So in the first week we sort of reorientated him to the black side of life.
It was fun. I mean, obviously we did it in good fun. We're just, I guess, poking fun at the fact that some people felt, you know, will he fit into the culture, yeah, Metro? But, you know, radio is radio. I don't think it really matters what the culture of a station is. If you're doing radio and you're professional, you'll do radio because you're a professional.
When you collaborate with such dynamic personality, work is always fun.
The funny thing is that I've been at Metro for quite a while and I do a lot of different things. And some of my colleagues here were like, yo, you are actually in promos now. And you know, there's a personality behind the newsreader. This is new. And these are people who've worked with me for the past 3-5 years. So for them to be that taken aback means, you know, the listener was even more taken aback.
A friend of the show, hip-hop sensation Casper Nyovest, stopped by to promote his latest album, Tudo.
Casper is a hard worker, and I think when people work hard, they need to be recognized. We mustn't just sit in the corner and Oshebe, come on, in your eyes on some, you know, ish, ahobutloa. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of that. We don't congratulate people enough to their faces. All of the time it's behind their back, whether, you know, we're speaking negatively or positively, or we wait for someone to die and then we meet, go baseline, and we're like, yeah, he was such a nice guy.
So it was only fitting that he presented him with a gift of congratulations.
I actually have a little collection at home, so it's going to be part of the collection. This is really dope. And I was telling him that I actually like these things, so it's a gift that I actually like. I didn't have to smile just because it's a gift, you know, it's dope.
And for good measure, the Fresh Breakfast team linked us to an ad break the only way they know how.
Don't be pop, be fresh. We're coming back straight after this.
Done.
Bye.
Thank you to the breakfast team at Metro. And right now, I just spoke with him. Hospice is about to perform for us. Amazing performance. He says it's a serenade, especially for me. Thank you, Hospice.
Welcome to the future. Let us take a journey into the mystical past, where you shall find your future. A future of love, peace, and understanding, where we will give our love and peace and greetings to the unborn babies of tomorrow. I'm talking about the Nelson Mandelas of the world. Dalai Lama, Mahatma Gandhi, Steve Biko, Credo Motua, Malcolm X, Maya Angelou. You see, they stand for what you and I could be. Stretching before me like a galaxy of stars into entities of the unknown. For you will never know where you're going to unless you know where you're coming from. And this is your future. You are now a child of a destiny. And I would love to welcome you to your own 21st century. But I also believe one day when I die, I shall become a dream. A dream of the past, the present, and the future. Welcome to your own 21st century.
To be African is beautiful. To be African is a privilege.
It represents hard work. It represents being able to stand on your own.
And respecting other cultures as well.
It's about promoting African heritage.
We are all Africans. Let's come together so that we can have a formidable force.
Our cultures interlink with one another.
And by standing together and embracing one another, you know, there's power in unity.
It is time to cut off this issue of xenophobia.
I stand for African unity. I stand for promoting unity in Africa because
there are many opportunities
to be whatever you want to be.
Africa is one of the most important continents.
Because if we can come together as one, we will be able to actually build a better Africa, the new Africa for the future. And if we unite our hearts and our minds together and we go forward, we will conquer.
So let us all arise and be proudly African.
Being an African is who I am right now.
I'm proudly African. I love Africa.
Wishing you all a very happy Africa Month.
One love.
From the moment you start your day. Good morning, everybody. It is 6 o'clock. We are there for you.
You want a guarantee from the leadership that we should not be leaders who will steal? I'm prepared to give that guarantee that we should not steal from our people.
We bring your morning into perspective.
This is the reason they keep putting fees up. They're not getting enough money.
We'll make sure that you get the full story. The police officers from specifically Moffat View Police Station, they support these brothels. What have you found upon your investigations on this matter?
I cannot deny those allegations.
And you can count on the weather team with expertise.
Join us live at 6 a.m. daily.
Welcome back. You're still watching Trendz. Israeli actress and model Gal Gadot reprises her role as Wonder Woman in the story's original film. Gadot first appeared as a Wonder Woman in the DC Comics Batman vs. Spider-Man. Now let's go behind the scenes of what I believe will be an absolute treat for all the comic book lovers. Take a look.
Everything is just so exciting. The learning of the Wonder Woman history and the training, everything is just amazing.
It's such a rigorous training process. For someone who hasn't trained really that way before, it's kind of a shock to your system.
With her, I wanted to develop something classy, a character who could sell the physicality of the role, but also hang a dress, also look beautiful and glamorous, you know, wearing a ball gown, wearing a dress, wearing normal street clothes. The character has to go back and forth and integrate into society, as well as being a total hitter when it comes to swinging the sword and battling the bad guys.
We worked out every day for 2 hours for the past 7.5 months. It was amazing. It was very challenging, but I learned so much about myself. There's such a great satisfaction after you work so hard on something, and then you see how you transform into something new, and you see how it makes you feel, and you see that I noticed that I started to stand differently and sit differently and just feeling strong. It gives you a different confidence.
One aspect of working with Gal that made me very sort of happy and satisfied was going from wondering about her ability to do the role to just knowing that, okay, I have this, I can do this.
Gal did a lot of training. There's a lot of martial art drills that we'll do with her. Stances, footwork, punching drills, kicking drills, etc. And then she has some empty hand, but the majority of this film, it was with the sword and shield. So there were a lot of weapons training.
I have to tell you that being a dancer helped a lot, because at the end of the day, it's all about choreography.
And cut.
And cut.
The hard part was we had to figure out how her fight style has developed over the hundreds of centuries, if you will. Her strengths and weaknesses.
The range of skills has to be very, very organic.
Yeah. What? What now?
That's what I'm talking about.
The biggest challenge on the movie so far was the Wonder Woman costume. When we started doing research on the character and also determining what we would do for this costume, we felt like it had to be a costume that a warrior would wear.
One of the first things that Zach and I talked about is she's been wearing this costume for her entire history, which is 3,000 years. It's never changed, and so you can see the history of the character within the costume itself.
Michael and Zach came up with this idea that what if we go with something that's more like a gladiator costume that feels ancient, but it feels like something she could actually fight in.
So you can see the influence of Greek culture and the gladiator-style metal armor that she wears. We really wanted the character to have a perfect balance between a power and a sense of intimidation, but also balance that with a grace and a majesty.
It was incredible. It serves the character.
Has this amazing lasso that glows, especially when it's under her power.
She has this amazing strength. She's very wise, and I think this is a very important character for all people to see. And to be a part of it and actually create it is out of this world.
I think that we've been careful to not just abridge her history so that we can horseshoe it into the film. I love the icon of her being inserted into this sort of man struggle between Superman and Batman.
Wonder Woman, rated PG-13.
What a time to be a Wonder Woman. It looks absolutely great. So as we do with many of the films we feature, a giveaway is on the cards for some of our viewers to win some cool Wonder Woman merchandise. Please tell us, in which film did Gal Gadot first appear as Wonder Woman? Tweet your answer to our Twitter page. It's @Trendz on SABC. And now, I have more legends. Amazing, amazing stuff happening in studio. Now, the music festival circuit, which hosts the Baseline Africa Day concert and the Bushfire Festival in Swaziland, amongst others, is celebrating the 3rd annual Zakifo Music Festival in Durban. It's going to be an amazing, amazing showcase of some of the biggest international names who have ever gathered together in one place in Durban at Blue Lagoon Beach from the 26th to the 28th of May. Now, we have music makers from all over the world, UK, America, Jamaica, Europe, and reggae artist and the youngest son of Bob Marley's clan, reggae musician Damien Jr. Gong Marley, will also be in the country. But standing head and shoulders alongside the international headliners are our national gems, the likes of Thandiswa Mazwai, Ray Phiri, and drum roll please, I have in studio Pindo, Buhle, and Nzika. Welcome the soil. Guys, so very happy to have you here. It's been a while. I haven't seen you guys in a while, but so happy. You guys are looking amazing. And the 3rd Zakifo Festival, what can people expect from the soil?
It's been a while since we performed in Durban. And Durban people are always warm, just like their weather.
Yes.
So we're bringing the new music from the new album called Echoes of Kofifi.
Yeah.
So people can look out for that, and just a taste of what will come soon after this festival, because we do have our own sessions of tours. Okay. So we're gonna come to Durban and bring them the full version of the whole album.
Fantastic. You guys have been touring though. I mean, since Echoes of Kofifi dropped. Tell us a little bit of, I mean, is there a lot that's different, though similar to, you know, the sound that we're accustomed to when it comes to the soil with this particular album? Nzika?
It's a sequel to Nostalgic Moments.
Yeah.
With Nostalgic Moments, we were just cutting from the, I guess, the just tapping into the stories. But this time with this album, we decided to immerse ourselves into the lifestyle, Kofifi. And then take out those stories that really defined that era for what it was, which was the epicenter of jazz. And we then, of course, with the influence of Abo Babumbong and Ngema, the likes of Abo Dadu, Ray Phiri, who were also youngsters back in those days, we went into studio with that ambience, with that in mind. We wanted to also do the vocals in the same fashion that the likes of the legendary Mahotela Queens did their music. And we really didn't even conform to the soil way of doing harmonies, but we wanted to do them like Abu Babu Huma Sekela did them. Yes, we channeled that energy.
Yes. Pindo, lastly from you, just what is the soil up to? Where are you going? Where can people get your international dates and even South Africa?
Yeah. What's currently happening? We are nominated on the
yes,
summer.
next week. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
next week.
Congratulations.
So we're getting on
I hope
3.
you win. Jeez. Okay, you know what? Never mind the talk. People can get a hold of you guys on social media and everywhere. What are you about to perform?
Tambulam.
Of course.
Yes.
Tambulam, take it away. Thank you guys.
Kentucky Tambulam, oh yellow and I love you, amen. Send us some more pities, elisi mizayamen. Ketamina baby, zokupatarat. Ngirutande no move to baby, stop some samalat. Hele Kentucky Tambulam, oh yellow and I love you, amen. Send us some more pities, elisi mizayamen. Ketamina baby, zokupatarat. Ngirutande no move to baby, stop some. Minang velin ponte lije pezu gwenjo. Mege puma ikazila shuguma. Minang vel ponte lije pezu gwenjo. Mege puma izulu la tutuma. Kamala kusbate. Kopelu bump. Namhlanje ngambekahle kamala kusbate stop samsamala kusbatlu mfudumeza kahle hele Kentucky Tambulam who you low and a baby send us some pieces.